my background is I started, whoops, yay. I started as a photographer and then I moved into fashion. So I had a decade in photography, a decade in fashion. And then for the last decade or so of my life, I've been more on the yogic path and teaching yoga and meditation around the world, and got to a place where I had to say a prayer to the universe and ask for aligned ways to make money, ways that align with my soul and with my values. And by the grace of God, it came to me just 2 days after I made that prayer out to the universe. And so really this space for me has been an answered prayer. And it is such an honor and a privilege to be able to share it with all of you, because this being in the space has absolutely changed my life. I went from being a broke traveling yoga teacher, doing the couch tour on friends' couches in Mexico when I found this space, to now, really thriving and living my best life in, beautiful villa in Bali. And I'm just so grateful to be able to share it all with you. So I encourage you to stay open and understand that this is different than anything else that you've heard of before. So stay open, keep your heart open, and know that you are in the right place and you were guided here for a reason. So thank you so much for everybody for showing up, and congratulations for taking the time to be here. This is a big deal. Investing this little amount of time in yourself today is really potentially the beginning of a life-changing journey. So good job showing up.
I love it. Oh, thank you so much, Magdalena. I love hearing your story so much, because I know a lot of people, especially in my community, who have so many different gifts to share in the world. And I don't know about you, but I started a business ultimately back in 2016 because I didn't really want to be put in a box. And what I found was when I did start having my own business, I still was actually trying to fit this mold, and I didn't quite really understand how to work the online space. I knew I needed to get into the online space and figure that out. But ultimately I found out that I could just get paid to be me. And I've been using this pants analogy recently. I feel like I've been wearing just trying to fit these tight jeans that just don't quite fit right, but they were what I thought I wanted to wear. And, as I started to unbuckle them, it's almost like after Thanksgiving, you unbuckle and then you unzip and you're like, oh, okay, I'm feeling a little better, but there's got to be a better way to wear my clothes and who I am and express who I am, right? So I just took off those freaking pants when I got to learn how to actually get paid to be me in the online world. And what we're going to be sharing with you today is really just a trailer. So when you think about when you're looking at a trailer for a movie, right, you're really only going to get the helicopter view, the teaser, the sneak peek of really what it is and how it all works. And we have a whole entire process for people to actually go through and really have a fully educated decision on how this actually can align with you and your own values. And we'll get to that towards the end. But really, we're just here giving you a sneak peek, highlighting everything that we're really excited about, because this space actually pays us 4-figure commissions, high ticket commissions, which we're going to get into also, through automation. And that is how we're able to leverage a space where we're actually getting paid to be us in the online world. And it is so freaking cool. It's so exciting. And it absolutely is the new way of doing business online, where you get to live from a place of freedom, money, and actually impact, right? Because we all want to make money, but really the why of it all, especially right now, so many of us are stepping up to the calling to actually share our gifts. But how do we do that in a way that's sustainable, right? So I'm going to be going over a little bit about what we're covering. By the way, I did not introduce myself. My name is Sabre Bruffy. And I live here full-time in Costa Rica, and Magdalena lives full-time in Bali. And we both love this digital nomad life, where we're able to live in top tropical destinations and actually just share this message with people who are wanting to make a difference in their life. So we're going to be covering the 3 pillars of what it really takes to have a high profit conscious business model online. And we'll go over really what a conscious business model means here in a little bit. But, this is really for people who, even if you don't know what to sell, even if you already are building a personal brand online, maybe you're a coach, maybe you are in traditional network marketing, maybe you're an artist, maybe you're a healer, maybe you're a mom, maybe you're working on a 9-to-5, whatever it is, this is a plug and play model that we're going to be sharing with you. And as we said, it's definitely a new paradigm where we don't have to reach out to friends and family. We don't have to do many of the old ways of marketing, which really doesn't really allow us to be in our full authentic self and our full integrity. And it's really a high profit, high impact business model, which means you get to do good by doing really well. Or am I saying that right? Do well by doing good for the world. That's what I was trying to say. And
Do
this
well by
space
doing
actually
good.
gives you a legacy income potential, which means you get to pass on money to future generations, which is a whole new freaking concept to me personally, and maybe to you watching this, but it's something that does good for you and others and the planet, as I said. And oops, my side button's not working. I'm going to have Magdalena actually talk a little bit about what a conscious business model is online, and then she'll take us into the first pillar.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sabre. Yeah, and the one thing that I want to add to that is that this is the space to actually achieve time, location, and financial freedom. So this is where we can actually have it all. And that's what this business model is all about. And it's so exciting to be able to share this with you. So the 3 pillars to having a conscious business online, it's just like, what's the most important part of a car, right? Is it the engine? Is it the wheels? Is it the gas that goes in? And the answer is it's the part that's missing, right? Because if you don't have all the parts of the car, you're not going anywhere, right? So you need all the parts. So this, in our model, we have 3 essential pieces. And if any one of them is missing, you're not really able to maximize your potential of having a conscious business online. So those things are having the high profit, high impact business model. That's what we're talking about today. And we're going to go a bit deeper into what those things are and what that means. And also social media skill set. And we're going to be explaining that to you. And we have all of this for you here. This is the beautiful thing. And then the automation piece, because without the automation piece, you don't actually have time freedom. You can buy yourself a job, but if you don't have automation, you hustle. You're in a hustle mode and you're on the hamster wheel. Whereas with automation, that's where you get to make money while you sleep. That's where your business works for you while you're sleeping, or, playing mermaid at the beach at sunset, like I tend to do every day. So I'm going to share with you about pillar 1, which is the high profit, high impact business model. So we chose this picture for this slide because it really shows one of the core messages, and certainly for me, part of my why I said yes to this space, is that one of my favorite daily affirmations is the more I give, the more I receive. The more I receive, the more I give. Because as a yogi, as a conscious person on the path of self-development and, higher awareness and always striving to be in my true dharma of why I came to this planet, making an impact is one of my core values. So I want to leave the world better than I found it. And this business model helps us do that. Next slide, please. So this is what I want to talk to you about just for a tiny minute here about what a conscious business model means. So I've been teaching about this for actually quite a long time. So when this model came along, I was like, hallelujah, this actually is exactly what I want to do. So triple bottom line, if you're not familiar with that term, what that means is that it's good for the person that's actually doing the business. It's also good for the planet, and it's good for other people. And this also is synonymous with the Buddha's concept of right livelihood, which is whatever you do for a living, make sure it does good for other people as well. So it's not just about us hoarding resources and making money so we can have another car or another villa. This is about us making more money. And for us as conscious people on the path of trying to make the world a better place, it's important that whatever we're doing for our livelihood is something that actually improves the world and certainly doesn't, exploit any people or or the planet, any of the resources in the planet. So the more I give, the more I receive. And then we also have the high profit piece in here as well, because the more money we can get into the hands of conscious people, the better the world's going to be. So we're going to talk a little bit about the old ways of doing business and the new ways. So really what we're talking about here is old paradigm versus new paradigm. And what we're sharing with you here today is the new paradigm of conscious business. So we're really not interested in putting energy into trying to fix the way things were before. We're really into creating the new earth and the new world. This is like a new earth business model. So the old way would be whatever it is you're doing for your business. It can include spamming friends and family, cold messaging people to buy from you. I get messages in my inbox and Instagram every day, even from coaches trying to sell me programs. And I'm like, delete, like that doesn't work. I don't even know who you are. That's the old way of doing it. The new way is learning the skill set of digital marketing to cultivate a network of people that want what you have. It's about learning how to bring your vibe to a level where you attract your tribe. We're talking about attraction marketing. That's the new way. So the old way is low ticket sales of $20 to $50 a sale. So whether that's an ebook or a yoga class or what the hourly that you're making at your 9 to 5, versus the new way, which is high profit, thousands of dollars per sale, you know, and I'm grateful to say that Sabre and I are definitely at the highest end possible of our business model. We've also both been here about a year and a half, and just in a year and a half, we're already maxing out. We're at the maximum of the compensation plan, which we'll be getting into more in detail later, which is a pretty short amount of time to be able to get yourself to this level. It's super exciting. So the old way, again, trading time for money. So if you're working by the hour, especially for someone else, you're not leveraging the opportunities that are here. The new way is automated online systems and processes where it's not, 1 hour of coaching or 1 hour of work at whatever your 9 to 5 is bringing you a certain amount of money. That's a limited income structure, right? You only have so many hours in the day, where if it's automated, it's limitless. And then again, the old way, creating a business where you've just bought yourself a job. So that could be something like being a coach and being a healer. This is where I was a year and a half ago when I started. I was doing coaching, and it's again limited time and not leveraging the new way, which is creating assets and investments and passive income to support you in becoming time and financially free. So again, it's making money while you're asleep. Your business is working for you while you are doing other things and out enjoying work, enjoying your life offline. So maximizing the online space so that you can have a better life offline. So a little bit more about that. We have this strategy where you can make $10,000 a month if you want. Low ticket. So let's look at this. We're talking about if we have a service-based business, or you're doing anything that brings in $100 at a time, whether it's healing, whether it's coaching, or if you're doing whatever kind of service you're doing. Maybe you're consulting, it's $100 an hour. In order to make $10,000 a month, you need to sell a lot of those, right? 100 of those. Whereas if you have high ticket commissions, you only need 5 sales. Let's say if you have a $2,000 commission, you only need 5 sales versus 100 sales. So just think about the time and energy that goes into you even selling those 100 sessions, right? Versus selling 5 sessions at $2,000. Or if you're doing, say, low ticket traditional network marketing, or you're teaching yoga classes, anything that's around $20 an hour, you need to sell 500 of those to have a $10,000 month. And we use the $10,000 month as, it's kind of a point where, if you can just imagine making $10,000 a month, how would that change your life? It's kind of a starting point of, okay, life really feels good now. I really don't have any more financial stress, right? I can pretty much do whatever I want when I'm making $10,000 a month. So that's why we use that as that example. And the high ticket version, and this is where Sabre and I are now, it's around a $5,000 commission. And so you only need 2 sales a month to make $10,000. So that's pretty exciting, right? It's amazing, but true. So which one would you rather have?
Yeah, absolutely. Really, guys, though, can you just put in the comments, would you rather do a high ticket or a low ticket? Because for me, ultimately, I wasn't sure if I was even going to be able to sell a high ticket. And it actually takes the same amount of time and effort to sell a high ticket that it does for low ticket. And I had no idea how I was even going to do this. And by the way, we're going to be opening things up for Q&A at the end. So if you've got any questions that are popping up for you throughout this, jot it down, because you'll be able to put it in the chat at the end. We'll absolutely do our best to answer every single question you got around this, because I know I had a ton, especially when I was really seeing these numbers. It felt like a whole new world to me. For those of you who are already creating your high ticket offers, this might be a little bit different for you, right? So I'm here to really talk to you about the second pillar for social media skill set. And I love this photo because I was so clueless for so many years. I started my business, and as far as I knew, up until I started my business, was social media was for sharing what your food was or what gym you're going. I was I didn't care about any of that, really. I really didn't. Ultimately, I knew I wanted to use social media to grow my business. But the way that I knew how was to send everybody a message about whatever new things I got going on, right? To get as much word out. And I didn't really realize that people don't care about the products as much as they do about you and your own story and your mission, your vision, and your why. And I was always posting like my discounts, my products, my sales, all that kind of stuff. And when I've learned this concept of getting paid to be me, I just like, I had to throw my hands up in the air, because I just realized like how much a lot of people are already doing this in the online world, but like most of us are not monetizing it, right? So on social media, obviously we know you could reach a global audience. I was doing lots of trade shows and, you know, vending at festivals and doing a lot of gig related things as a performer. And I knew that I needed to get my work into the online world, because that's just it. There's over 1 billion people on Facebook alone. So of course that being on social media is where I needed to go to. But what I really needed to learn was this idea of personal branding and attraction marketing. And what that really means is where you get to create the magnetic content. You get to learn how to create content that actually attracts your soul tribe. You can call it like law of attraction or whatever it is. It works the same. Attraction marketing, like your vibe attracts your tribe, right? So when you're creating content that aligns with your life, your values, your aspirations, they speak to your global soul tribe. And ultimately, when they see you in your highest energy and your highest light doing something that you freaking love, which absolutely, if you're getting paid to be you, you get to actually write off your entire trips and like all the fun things that you do, because if that's your livelihood, you get to write that off into your taxes. It's so huge. So you get to embody this world of the more fun you have, the more money you make. And people are really looking for solutions right now. People are not looking for more things. People are looking for help. They want to know that they can be able to be supported. They want to be able to know that they can be authentic and be themselves. And just even people who don't know if they can share their own unique message, I want you to know right now, if you've got any of those doubts or any of those little voices in your head wondering like, well, who wants to know what I have to share? I want you to understand that we do all have a really epic story. And even though it might seem so humdrum to you, like there are some magical parts about each and every single one of us, and that have deep, deep reflections to each other. And when you get to actually learn how to do this and connect with your soul people, it is very soul aligned. Like you don't have to reach out to people when you're doing this kind of marketing and this kind of attraction marketing. You just get to be yourself. So ultimately, when you're learning how to do this, you're putting in the time and energy to build a presence for yourself on social media, right? But you're doing it in the pockets of your time and the times that it feels really good and aligned for you, so you could be offline. You do have to have the right vehicle, which we'll get into in a little bit, obviously, because that's why we're here sharing this with you, because we're so excited about how that actually is able to even be possible without needing to have a large following. I know for me, I was wanting to like start maybe a YouTube channel or a TikTok or like get all these followers. And, you know, I heard all of this, like what you should and should not do on social media. And I really thought it was about quantity over quality, when actually it's completely backwards. When you're actually getting paid to be you, it's just you and your authentic message, because we're already on social media, right? And if you're not creating this as an asset right now, ultimately you are going to wish that you had, because everybody has a social media. And if you have a social media, you actually have a personal brand. There's just a small percentage of people who are actually knowing how to monetize this. And maybe they're monetizing it, but they're actually still trading their time for money, right? So if you're actually plugging into these automated systems, plugging into something that's already done and ready for you, and you get to just show up and be who you want to be and work on who it is that you actually want to be and learn to show up for that, it creates a recession-proof asset for you, which basically means, you know, the market's never going to get saturated with Magdalena. The market's never going to get saturated with Sabre or you or whoever it is, because we're each unique people. So this is just the wave of the new future. Everyone's learning how to build these personal brands, but how do we do that? How do we do that in a way that's actually going to not compromise what it is that we truly want to talk about, right? The things that we could talk about for hours and hours and hours. So I want to give you just a couple examples in case you don't know what a personal brand is, right? So for those of you who follow Magdalena, you see that she's all about health and wellness, conscious living, living in Bali, living your best life. I'm an artist, I'm a dancer, and you know, I don't rely on any of those streams of income because I have this as an asset to build a personal brand and plugging into this system. These women here also plug into this space as well, and they're building brands around their specific genius zone. Jess and Ariel are actually both coaches, and they're very, very passionate about building brands around unleashing people in their genius zone, really, and creating a sovereign lifestyle. So they really, really, really talk about creating a financial independence and financial sovereignty with this space of utilizing multiple streams of income, something that's going to build us legacy income and an asset for the rest of our life. Sarah is actually also a mom, and she builds her personal brand just around her love for conscious living, like the food she eats, the sustainability practices she does, like all of the conscious parenting practices she does with her kids. And she's also sharing about creating financial freedom, because right now we really, really need to do that. So ultimately, when you're building a brand here, you get to build a brand around what it is that you feel passionate about and what you want to see in the world and what you really stand for in this space. So I wanted to give you just a couple examples here. And then here is a really great, I'm not going to read all this over. I don't expect you to read it either right now, but please take a screenshot if you'd like. There's also going to be a recording of this as well, so you can go back through and you can pause it if you prefer to do that. But we really wanted you to just hear from more of our community of what they're actually saying, because there's a lot of different people from a lot of different walks of life who come into this space, and whatever it is that they were doing or planning to do or didn't want to do, they've just made their lives so much easier plugging into this space because it's fully freaking automated. And I'm actually going to toss it back to Magdalena so she could talk about this automation, because this is the cream of the crop. This is how we actually are able to get money while we sleep, while we're going and playing, while we're traveling, while we're spending time with our family, doing the things that we love. This is what we're talking about building online to actually be ultimately offline 90% of the time.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sabre, for all of that. And I just wanted to add too, about building the personal brand. And this is something that I talk about in my brand as well, is using this vehicle as an asset to create the income for your passion projects. So this is a way to turn your passions into profit in the way that we have a personal brand. And that's what you talk about. And you talk about what lights you up, and that's what attracts people to you. And that's what's all being taught here. And as a way to create the income to support the causes that we believe in and to fund our passion projects. We have a bunch of people in our community that are, building eco villages around the world and things like that. We're talking about, this business can be a stepping stone to creating, really your dharma and your legacy projects. When we talk about legacy income, that means income for the rest of your life. And that can obviously go towards creating whatever your legacy is. If you're somebody that has a dream of creating a healing center like I do, this is a way to actually achieve the means to create those projects as well. So that's super exciting to think about. So automation. Yeah, this is my favorite part about the business, because this is the part where the heavy lifting is done for us. So, our job mainly is being ourselves. It's really creating content, and all that training is included here. And we'll talk more about that, that the training is included to learn how to create your own personal brand. And then that's what you focus your energy on. And then the automation does the rest. So what we're talking about is being able to have, it's like having your digital storefront open 24/7. So while you're sleeping and, while you're swimming in the ocean or surfing or dancing or whatever it is that you enjoy, that lights you up, that fills up your cup, your business is working for you. It's a way to truly automate your business, by having the systems, the processes, the funnels, the email marketing, the sales teams in place to support the back end of your business. So you don't have to create all of that yourself, but you need to have it. If you don't have automation in the income in your online income, you don't have time leverage. So I'm a really good example of this. The most money I ever made was about 15 years ago when I had my fashion business, and I made real money one year, and I had no time freedom. I was a single mom, and I couldn't even spend time with my child. And it was really actually very heartbreaking. I had no time freedom. And having this automation piece in there is what solves that problem. I wish I had this 15 years ago. So having a system work for you in the background is vital for your freedom business, period. And that's what we have here.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And actually, I did decide to just reach out to a couple women in our community that really just wanted to share from their heart, just like one quick minute to really just share what this space has done for them. So you could hear from a couple of other women just really live from the heart right now. And one of them, I'm going to actually bring on Ariana Kane first. She is a serial entrepreneur. I'm going to allow her to just share the rest of her journey in the little bit that she can. But I'm so grateful that you guys get to hear from her, because she actually did the last masterclass that I did while I was in Mexico. And she just, I'm just so blown away by her heart and her vision for her impact and what she's wanting to create in this space. So Ariana, I'm going to just ask you to unmute, and then you have the floor.
Okay, I'm here. Can you hear me? You probably want to stay.
You're good.
Okay. Hi. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. I only have like a minute, but lucky for you guys, I talk really fast. So it's hard to like put a life in this, but let me just give you the tidbits. Sabre mentioned serial entrepreneur, and the truth about that means it's just mad hustle. It's like always ideas, always vision, always working, always, like you said, making that impact. But there is something called burnout. And I just remember thinking, man, there's got to be a better way, because my number one core value is freedom. I mean, like a Luthro-mania is a manic zest for freedom. And I had it bad because I wanted to make a difference, but I wanted time freedom. And it wasn't even delusions of grandeur. I just wanted to be in purpose, on purpose. And someone mentioned something about getting paid to be you. And I was like, wait a second, what? Is that a thing? It's a thing. And so I just was like, the thought of to be paid to be myself, in alignment, in soul congruence, where suddenly hard work gets to be like try easy, right? When you just get to be you. And so I had to listen. When somebody said that, I was like, you know what? What if? Open minds are important. So I was like, what if that's true? And so I checked it out, and it has changed everything for me as far as the freedom, and more importantly, the time freedom. For me, it wasn't delusions of grandeur. If I could just make the same income as I could doing something else, but be in complete control of me and time, it was awesome. So thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love your energy, and I love how much you can always pack in a minute. And honestly, there's my excuse me, guys. I have like a kind of dry throat right now, and I didn't realize I was not muted when Magdalena was talking. So I just want to apologize for that. Okay, so the next woman I'm going to bring on, her name is Monica Painter. She is actually a single mom of 3, and I'm blown away by this woman and her vision and her why. And she's got a completely different story as well, because she actually used to be a nurse, and she really wanted to step into a space of more impact herself. And I'm going to bring her on as well. So Monica, I'm going to ask you to unmute, and you got the floor.
Got it. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you for having me. So yes, my name is Monica Painter, and I've got 3 kids. I'm a single mom. I was a nurse, and I was a nurse during COVID, and I wanted to step into the online space. My passion project was like coaching, mentoring, motivational speaking. And so that's where my heart is. But I didn't want to step out of the hospital where I was constantly compromising my values into another space of like trading dollars for clients, right? I didn't want to shift from dollars for hours to dollars for clients. So I knew that my passion was to like touch people's lives and coach people, coach moms, help them step into a space like I was in. But I needed a vehicle. So what I've been able to do is I have this coaching business now that I love, but I don't have to devote all of my time and energy into it. I can do it in a way that serves me and serves my family. I'm in the highest, and still have, a magic in the background working for me, tapping into the automation and all of the existing systems and structures so that we can like go on vacation, and I don't have to coach people while I'm on vacation. So it's like the best of both worlds. You get to have your passion, you get to have the automation and freedom.
Amazing. Oh my gosh, that's so huge. Yeah, so you guys, when she was talking about Enagic, we're actually going to go into that, because that's actually the high ticket offer that we are aligned with. And what we want to share with you is how this new paradigm, like how are we able to leverage such a beautiful system and actually have us be the product, right? Or how do it however we really want to, build a brand around whatever it is that we ultimately want to. So we've given you our trailer, our highlights of everything that we're really excited about, like really what it takes to have a high ticket, high impact business with the social media skill set paired with the automation. So this is like, we got two ways that we can go about this, that you can actually go and create your own high ticket offer. You can go out and, you know, piecemeal from different mentors and maybe possibly be spending thousands of dollars on setting up these automated systems for yourself and getting the education for yourself. Or you can just be open to a new way of doing business online where all of this is actually taken care for you. Like all of it is done for you. It is a plug and play system where you can actually leverage automation and just focus on building your personal brand in alignment with your voice and your truth. So we have a platform that's called the Freedom Era. It's freaking amazing. And the name speaks for itself, right? Freedom Era is the place to go build a personal brand with a legacy income online. And as we were talking about, I'll go into actually what that actually looks like here in just a bit, but that means that you get to pass on money to future generations. It's something that you can set up for like a small amount of time, really, especially when people are going out to create all of this stuff for themselves to then earn a profit 3 to 5 years down the road, hopefully, right? Or be able to like go to school and then tap into another job where they're ultimately, hopefully, able to get to $10,000 months for themselves. But this is an all-in-one complete resource center where you get to plug into highest converting offer that's already created for you, that everybody is already starting to buy around the world right now for themselves anyway. In the Freedom Era platform, it gives you access to this offer that you could plug and play in, has all the automation in there for you so you don't have to create this for yourself. We teach you everything that you need to know about building your business and brand online, so you don't even have to outsource that. You get to actually earn money while you're learning how to do all of this stuff versus, right, where we go out and spend so much money on coaches and mentors and courses and, you know, do all these programs in order for us to finally learn how to do this stuff. We get to earn while we're actually learning. So in there, the high ticket offer, which we're going to go into in just a second, but it pays high ticket commissions of $350 to $5,000 plus per sale in USD. Like that is so, so huge. I personally don't know anything else out there in the online space right now where you can actually learn to just show up as you and have something that's fully automated that pays 4-figure commissions and gives you this legacy income, right? It's an irresistible offer that people are already purchasing, as I said before, a high impact product that's doing good for you, others in the planet. And the legacy income potential here is $5,000 to $80,000 USD monthly for life. And I just want to let that land a little bit, because like seriously, $80,000 monthly for life that you get to pass on to future generations, where you get to be in alignment with your truth and freaking empower the rest of the visionaries around the world, the rest of the freedom seekers, the rest of the people that are wanting to have a freaking amazing solution right now. We get to do this together. So I'm going to have Magdalena talk about this, because as a health and lifestyle coach, Magdalena knows the ins and outs of this product, and she's going to introduce it to you.
Thank you so much, Sabre. I'm giddy with excitement over here. I'm so just grateful to be able to have the time and space to be able to share this with you all, because this has been life-changing for me and thousands of other people. And by the way, we have over 5,000 people in our global community, people all over the world that have tapped into the system and are having just incredible results. So I'm really grateful to be able to introduce you to this incredible product. And it's not just the product, it's also the company behind it. So what we're working with here is water ionizers. And so water being one of the most valuable resources on the planet, and certainly the water that we consume, is something that we need to be paying much more attention to. I find that so many people are uneducated about the importance of the water that they put into their body. And I'm very grateful to be on this path where I get to do some education for people around this. So this company is 47 years old, almost as old as me. And their philosophy is about helping people be healthy physically and healthy financially so that they can be healthy mentally, as in happy. So that's the philosophy of the company that we have chosen to partner with. So the way that this whole system works is we essentially have 2 strategic partnerships. One of them is with the Freedom Era educational platform that teaches us how to leverage the other partnership, which is with these water ionizers. So when I said that prayer to the universe, like, show me an aligned way to make an income in this world. I had come from scarcity consciousness and I didn't know how to make money. And that is something that I have repaired being in this space, gratefully. So when I found out about this system and I saw that this was the product that they were partnered with, for me, it was a hallelujah moment, because I had already known about this company and about these machines for over a decade. As somebody who was actually has an autoimmune condition, and which put me on the path of being very interested in health and wellness and yoga and mindset and all of this, I was so grateful that it was this company and these products, because I've known about them for a decade already and I've always wanted one. And finally, here was a way for me to actually get my own product and to do it in a way that I could actually leverage it to actually create a sustainable livelihood for myself. And with this legacy income, which is, you know, my big why is also to pass this on to my daughter. So this is, I'm building a business here that I can pass on to her and have money for the rest of my life by supporting and not even promoting these products, because the way I do it in my brand is I do it kind of as a backdoor offer. My brand does not talk about the water, even though I use the water and I'm obsessed with all of the products. I use them on a regular basis daily, and they've enhanced my life incredibly. And we have tons of like Facebook groups and resources and places for you to learn all about the products. But I can attest on a personal level and on a professional level that this is one of the best choices I've ever made in my life, was aligning and partnering with this company and these products. So these water ionizers, they have the water that they create is 7 different types of water, and they actually have over 100 different uses. So you can get rid of the toxic cleaners in your home. You can get rid of the toxins in your body, because this is high antioxidant water. It's hydrogen rich. When it comes out of the machine, you see the hydrogen bubbles. It's alive, it's structured. We're talking about living water. And what happens to your body when you're drinking living water is it becomes more alive, and it comes into homeostasis. So it doesn't cure. We don't make medical claims here. We don't say it cures illnesses, but what it does is it gives your body what it needs to get into homeostasis so that it can cure itself. It's just incredible. And I'm so grateful for this partnership and for these products.
Yeah. And what's beautiful about it too, is like, you don't have to know how to like explain any of it, any of it. It's because of the automation, and it's just so beautiful, because personally, I've actually never had a conversation about the water. I started this business when I was traveling, doing bus life, like traveling around the West Coast of the US. I didn't even have a place to like actually plug in my water system until I actually started grounding out more. But you know, that was what I really saw. I was like, wait a second. So I can leverage something, but I don't have to actually sell it myself. I don't actually have to be the expert on it. There's these people that have created this entire freaking community, this entire platform that really is a plug and play. So I can lean on the experts who are the experts in Kangen water, who are the experts in the science of it and the hydrogen rich and all the words, all the sciencey words that I'm not a sciencey person. That's just not my personality. But what I really love about that is you get to really open the scope of the kind of people that you can serve in this space, because some people really do want to just receive the water and have the health benefits, right? But also a lot of people want to build a powerful brand and just really just get paid to be them. So it's really beautiful when you mix up these two beautiful partnerships where you actually get to leverage such an amazing product that stands the test of time. One thing you really want to look for is something like this company has been around for 47 years. And that's something you really want to make sure you're looking for, right? Because there's a lot of things coming out right now, but we don't know if they're going to stand the test of time. Like a lot of them will go, they just won't work out. And you want to make sure that you're with something that's going to be sustainable for you and actually going to just give you free range on how you do it, right? So I'm going to actually have Magdalena talk about the numbers piece of it as well. Did you have anything else to say about that?
Yeah, I did want to add a couple of things. That EWR or ERW, electrolyzed reduced water. So for those of you who are taking notes, if you want to do some research about the water and learn about it for yourself, that's the term that you want to search, electrolyzed reduced water, ERW water. And just go and search that. You can go in PubMed, and there's tons of scientific studies and things. And there's also, you know, it's as simple as sharing about the water. If you meet somebody who's interested in, you know, they have a health issue and you want to tell them about the water, it's as simple as sending them a link. Like, it's all created for you, and that has all the science and all the videos that explain everything. You don't need to know about it. You don't need to be an expert about it. I became a little obsessive when I started, and I watched every single training about it because I'm so obsessed with health and helping people be healthy and getting my own health to an optimum state. So I was really excited about the water and really looked into it and did all the research about it. But again, I don't have it as part of my personal brand. People that have known me for a year and a half and didn't even know that I work with this water. They just know me as like a lifestyle, healthy, lifestyle guru. So that's what works for me. And then when they come in and they're like, oh my God, it's this amazing water. It's like, and people look at me, I'm 52 years old. They're like, how do you look so good? I'm like, it's the water. So, all right. So let's talk about money. Let's talk about our 10K profit strategy. So this is basically how you can make $10,000 in your first 7 sales. This is the breakdown right here. So the business goes in levels, and you can see right here on your first 3 sales, you can make $3,462 in your first 3 sales, guys. It's just like, it blows my mind when I look at these numbers every time. Your next 3 sales, you can make a total of $5,193. And then on your last sale, so your 7th of your 7 sales, you can make $2,308. So that comes to a total of $10,963. So that's over $10,000 in your first 7 sales. So this is, if you come from traditional network marketing, this is probably blowing your mind right now. You probably have to have thousands and thousands of people to make this much money. And so this is something, and here's the best part about these numbers. Like, this is actually just the beginning. That's just you setting the foundation for your business, because once you get past that 7th sale, you get to a level where the money gets really meaningful and it gets really fun, and it just keeps growing and growing. And, I'm happy to say that Sabre and I are at that point of our business, where it's like, we've actually reached that beyond that. And we are in the super sweet spot right now, where it's like, we are like around $5,000 sales for each, commissions for each sale. So it's like, that's really exciting, and the cool thing is that actually grows over time as well. That's not just a set amount. It actually doesn't stop there. It continues growing and growing. So we're just at the tip of the iceberg. And as we said earlier, there's no cap on the income that you can make in this space, that you can continue growing. And, really, I've planted my flag here. I think Sabre has as well, right? That I've planted my flag. Like, I'm here for the legacy income. I am here, this is like my retirement plan. I started at 50 years old, my retirement plan. Like, I didn't work for corporations or other people building their dreams for decades to have a retirement. I started it at 50 years old. So, and now I have it, and, within 5 years, and I'm going to give this 10 years, 20 years, I'll be in this for the rest of my life, because I see the potential and I see how it just continues growing. And I will hand it down to my daughter so that I have something, to pass on to her. And then I will take the income that I make here, and I will build healing centers and, use it as leverage to create more money. So it might feel too good to be true to you if you're watching. I mean, that's how I felt at the beginning as well. And then the more I looked into it, and I can say honestly, a year and a half into this, it just keeps getting better. The more I learn, the more community I connect with here, it just keeps getting better and better. So this is just the beginning.
So beautiful. So yeah, a lot of you guys are also wondering, like, how the heck do I do that, right? And this is where it really gets juicy, because the mentorships, the masterclasses and masterminds that you have access to here in the Freedom Era are actually from all of the top of the line consultants in their specific industry. I want to just point out a couple. These 2 are 8-figure consultants. This woman has an 8-figure freaking coaching organization, and she teaches all about compounding leadership. We have the best guy in freaking Facebook ads, Ben Simpkin, people leading their brands with love, Facebook groups, like anything you can really think of to build your brand and your business online. So anything that you're really wanting to work on and really wanting to deepen your practice on, you don't actually have to go outsource any personal development, any freaking marketing education. This is where you get to actually have it all in one place. And again, the Freedom Era itself, actually, I don't think I mentioned this yet. It's actually a residual stream of income as well. Some people actually, like, they're waiting to get into their Enagic business, but they'll actually use the Freedom Era to just grow what they already got going on, because they realized they had spent so much money on all of these mentorships and masterclasses and masterminds themselves. These people, you'll have to pay up to 6 figures a year to work with, and we get them every single week in the Freedom Era. as well as a whole plethora of courses. I'm not going to go over too deep into any of them, but any of them that stand out to you is probably the one that you would probably love to dive in your practice, deep in your practice, and dive right in and really expand in it. And, you know, I don't know about you, but I've done a lot of different webinars in the past where like I've participated in them, and there was just like, I just had this urgency to like just try to piecemeal from so many different areas. And I never could really get exactly what I felt like I really needed for my authenticity and really where I was going. And here, like, it's been an all-in-one learning buffet of knowledge. And what you actually get to go through, if you're wanting to learn more about this space, you guys get to actually reach out to the person who invited you in to watch this masterclass and go through what we call a discovery process. And I'm gonna have Magdalena talk about the power of this discovery process alone, because it's a really beautiful process.
I love the discovery process. So somebody who's coming from like the coaching world, this is, I can attest that this is a really valuable process in and of itself. So if you go into the platform, this is the first thing that you're going to do is go through this coaching process, which is really going to help you get super crystal clear on your vision and on your why and what it is that you want to create for your life. And you're going to learn all about the high profit, high impact offer that we mentioned here. I'm sure you have a billion questions about it. They're all going to be answered in that process. And then you're also going to get to have a one-on-one call with a digital business specialist that can really hone in on you and your specific, where you are and where you want to go, and help you bridge that and help you understand what's possible and show you how to get it. So how to get there. So we're talking about a free coaching call as well as a free coaching process. And I just hear time and again from people who go into the platform and go through this and how much they enjoy this process and how enlightening it is. So even just this discovery process in and of itself is potentially a life-changing opportunity for you. And then there's also in the platform, because again, you're probably wondering, how the heck do I do this? And so this high ticket product, how does that work? Like, how do I even begin to learn? And I had the same concern when I started. I was like, how do I get into this high ticket world? I'd come from low ticket. I was coaching for $100 an hour. I had an e-course for like $300. That's all low ticket. Now I look at that and I'm like, I don't even want to spend my time on that, because I got such a bigger stream happening over here. And I still do my work to, to fulfill my soul and to be helpful. But really, I put, excuse me, more energy on this stream right now, because I really want to make a lot of money right now, because I want to make a lot of impact. So this great thing is that this part, the launch your business training that's in the platform, teaches you. It gives you a step-by-step guide. It gives you the steps. If you just show up and you do the training and you implement it, you're going to have success. That's how it works. It's a plug and play system. It's like, we have the vehicle and we also give you the roadmap. And then we haven't even gotten to this part yet. We give you also the community that comes along for the ride. So it's like, it's a one-stop shop. And then when we talk about automation, this is what we're talking about here. This is also included in the platform, which is done for you funnels, the webinars, the sales pages, the checkout pages, the launches, even the sales calls. If you're somebody that's like, I don't want to do sales, you don't have to. Good news. It's all included in here. It's done for you. This is the one-stop shop. This is really like, I love that description. It's exactly what it is. It's a plug and play system. Everything is here for you. You just have to get yourself to the point where it's like, you feel into your soul and your heart. Stop listening to the head, go to the soul, go to the heart, and ask yourself, am I excited right now? Does this feel like this could be what I need in my life? This could be what could take me to the next level. And this is with this automation all built in for you, it's just up to you to come to your yes, and then you plug in and you hit the ground running, and it's so much fun.
So beautiful. So this is a photo that we just wanted to share with you, because if you guys are looking, like, I don't know about you, but for me, especially when I started becoming an entrepreneur, I was really wondering, like, does anybody else think the way I do? Is anyone else obsessed with creating their own freaking life on their own terms? Like, we have a lot of people who talk about it, right? But what about the visionaries? What about the dreamers? What about the doers? The people who are actually like embodying the things that they talk about, right? And we have this beautiful event the Freedom Era has called Freedom Fest in Australia that I actually went to. I'm somewhere in there. I have no idea where, but I got to go to Australia and meet this incredible community that was just so fully expressed. It reminded me of a mixture of Burning Man and like top-notch digital marketing, like new earth business just fused together. And I really felt like I found my people. I just, it's so important who we actually surround ourselves with. And I can tell you that this community has been the most incredible community I've ever stumbled upon, offline or online. Like I've met them both. Well, not all of them, obviously, because we've got, I don't know, 7,000 people in the community all around the world. But a lot of them some of them I have met in person, and I'm just always in deep, deep gratitude. I really felt like I found my home when I came to this space, because I feel like, where I'm going in the entrepreneurial path gets to be collaboration, gets to be inspired, gets to be uplifted by the people that I'm communicating with and talking with and surrounding myself with now. And I think that's the most important thing for us in anything that we're wanting to create. Like birds fly faster when they're actually flying together. It's so incredible. So we're about to go into Q&A, but if you guys are wondering, you guys don't have to stay for Q&A unless you want to. Of course, I highly recommend it because you get to ask us questions. But just know that you get to have the rest of your questions, all your high level questions, especially when it comes to everything, all the ins and outs of the water and just how it works and the comp plan and everything. Ask the person who invited you into this masterclass. And depending on where you're watching this, there might be a button at the bottom. If you don't see a button, don't worry about it. Just reach out to the person who did invite you to watch this and ask them for the discovery process. I'm going to let you know that it will take you to a checkout page. So what we have is an actual risk-free trial. I call it a trial, but it's really, you put $99 down. It's a $99 a month platform. And as I said, it gives you a residual income as well. So it pays for itself very, very quickly and more. As again, you earn while you're learning, but you have a 30-day money back guarantee. So you can actually go through the discovery process, go through that amazing coaching process, just really get crystal clear on your vision and what you're wanting to create, have a one-on-one call with your digital business specialist, and get all of your questions answered, and make that fully educated, full body decision, because we don't want anyone wasting $99 at all. But there's a 30-day money back guarantee, so you can check it out risk-free. So you're just gonna go back to the person who invited you to watch, and they'll send you that link. But right now, put any questions that you have. I did just see some questions get thrown down while we're doing that. We're going to answer that here in just a second. I'm going to just go through, because I know we're a bit over time right now, but I wanted to answer like the most commonly asked questions, right? How long will it take to set up my business? And what is the time investment? Those questions kind of go in together. So anything that you do, what you put into it, you're going to get back, right? We have the systems, we have so much in place. So what you're going to be mainly doing is working on you and your own personal development. And ultimately our Launch Your Business course, it's meant to walk you through in your first 30 days. But if you're like me, or if you're like Magdalena and really just want to like dive deep and learn fast, I did that personally in about 2 weeks, and I launched my business on the second week. And I started connecting with people and started having my first sale within my first month. And really, like, I dove in. I got really, really serious about just learning as much as I could, and really just starting to get a practice for myself on really who it was that I am to become, and working on my personal development. We're really about 80% inner work and 20% strategy. So yes, you're going to be doing about that with your time, right? Some of it's going to be the strategy with the social media piece, which you're going to be learning. Most of it is really learning to become your best self. And if you already have a beautiful spiritual practice or personal development practice, this is going to be great for you, because you're going to ultimately just learn how to continue doing that and get paid for embodying that. So the time investment, you know, we have people who have been doing this around full-time jobs so they can ultimately shift out. And I know that there's people who work 12 hours at hospitals and still, instead of coming home and watching Netflix and vegging out on their phone, they used that spare time in the evening to build their businesses, and have eventually actually moved out of those paradigms so they could spend more time doing the things that they love. There's also people here like Brooke W. March. She's all over our Conscious Entrepreneur Collective Facebook group, but she is an unschooling mom. So she had 2 kids at home all the time before COVID, long before COVID. And she did this in the pockets of her time, around like 2 hours a day, personally, for me, I spend 2 to 3 hours a day, maybe like 5 days a week. And it's just accumulative. Like sometimes I'll just be off and sometimes I'll just really put some energy in. And that's where I'm at right now. But at the beginning, I was definitely diving in and really just learning a lot. So it just depends on where you're at on your own journey, you know, your own current skill sets, you know, obviously a job that you already have or might not have. And the last piece is if you can do this with another business. And absolutely, in fact, if you have a business already and you're already building online, I highly suggest considering adding another stream of income, because when you don't rely on your coaching containers or your healing containers or even your art, oh my gosh, if you're not relying on your passion work, right, your soul work to pay your bills and to pay your rent, it stops tainting those containers with that energy. As much as we want to not think that it does that, it really does. And for me, like, you know, I was making art and I love art. I love making art. And when I started doing it for a living, I realized, oh my gosh, it just started becoming a bit more of a burden. Just like it kind of sucked that passion out for me. So I think that there's a really big importance for us to really start learning how to have these other assets that are paying us on the back end so that our work can come from inspiration and flow and creativity again. Is there anything else that you wanted to add to any of this, Magdalena? Because I want to dive into the questions too.
Yes. Thank you so much. Yeah, and yes to all of the above. And I see a question, somebody that has a question that I had at the beginning as well. Is this something that you can do if you already have a business, if you already have a brand? Is this something that you can do without like tainting your current clientele? And that's exactly my case. That's what I did. Is I, like I said, I do this partnership as a backdoor offer. I don't have it on the front of my brand. Some people do. Some people are obsessed with the water and don't already have their own brand, and they create a whole brand around the water. That's not me. That's what I do. So what has happened for me in the year and a half in this space is when I started, as I said, I was coaching, I was teaching yoga, I was trying to fill retreats and not having much success at it. But now a year and a half later, I have built my brand because I've applied the skill set that I've learned here. So now anytime I launch another offer that is on my brand, it is eaten up immediately. Like I'm, you know, as soon as things open, I'll be doing retreats again. And I know I have a whole new client base. I have a whole new audience now that has been strengthened by the work that I have been implementing through this business, through this training. So yes, if you already have an existing brand, you can add this. Just think of it as an additional income stream that will probably pretty quickly become your biggest income stream. That's what happened for me. But you can still do whatever your brand is, whatever your passion is, and it's absolutely possible to merge it. And then as Sabre pointed out, having this additional income stream that is paying the bills. So now I teach yoga for free. Yesterday was International Day of Yoga. I just taught an hour-long meditation online for free. Whereas before I would have put it out as a paid program. Now I do it for free, just out of the kindness of my heart, because I want people to be meditating, you know, and I don't have to rely on that for income because I've got this other income stream that, you know, has helped me like 5x my lifestyle in the last year and a half, you know, so it's a really abundant stream. So yes, you can absolutely do it all.
Yeah, I love that. And I see actually a question from Ariana right now. So you're selling the Kangen machines to make the money. What if I'm not passionate about selling the machine? How does my personal passion and business tie into selling the machine? So I'd love to answer this, because personally for me, I was vending, I was doing all the things. So I was like, the last thing I want to do is like water demos. And the last thing I want to do is like, you know, just repeat myself over and over and over and over about a product. I was just really done with that world. And I didn't really necessarily want to be the water girl. Like I've always been an artist. I've been very conscious about my health for many, many years, but I didn't necessarily feel like passionate enough to create that as my brand, as my main thing. But what I saw here was the automation. So what you get to be passionate about though, right, is your voice, your message, what you stand for, and why it's important to live and embody those values. And how you do that is to have streams of income that empower you to be your best self, right? So ultimately, anyone who's building a personal brand here, it falls under the same category. Anyone can come in here. They could talk about the water if they want, But if they don't want to, they get to talk about what they want to. And ultimately, they're using this space so they could do more about what they're talking about. Does that make sense? Where it's like you're building a brand around what you just want to talk about, what you're passionate about, what you want to embody. For me, it's very much like I want to be fully expressed. I want to be traveling. I want to be, you know, empowering women to show up as their like fully authentic embodied self. How do we do that if we're working 9 to 5s? How do we do that if we're trading our time for money? You know, and that's where my messaging comes in, where I'm like, this is how we do this. We are savvy women, savvy men who leverage savvy systems in this new earth paradigm. So we get to show up and do how we do, if that makes sense.
I would add to that, that for this, even though we do have a partnership with a product, for me, this is very much a service-based business. So I look at who do I want to support? Who do I want to empower with this business model? Because I'm a mentor, I'm a coach in this space. This has made me a better coach and a better mentor, all the training I've received in here. So I look at it as a service-based business. Who do I want to empower? I gravitate towards yogis, healers, and coaches. I'm all about making the world a better place. Who are the people that are out there that are wanting to make the world a better place, that are wanting to have an impact? Those are the people that I want to support with those business model. So I become a mentor and a coach. I'm not a salesperson. I'm a mentor and a coach. If I'm selling anything, it's freedom. You know, time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom. I adopted freedom as my middle name 10 years ago at my first Burning Man. So this is like totally my ethos. Freedom is also my top value, as Ariana said earlier. So it's not about becoming a salesperson, and it's not about selling a water filter, which is what a lot of people try to deduce it to. And before they understand and see the scope of what we have here, first of all, it's not a filter, it's an ionizer. There's a big difference, but it's also, you're not a salesperson, and you don't need to be an expert, and you don't even need to have sales calls. Like you said, Sabre and also Brooke, who's been wildly successful in this space, I've never talked about the water to anybody. So it's a mental switch that you need to flip from being a salesperson of a product to being someone who is in service to those that you want to support.
Yeah, and we are at time right now, so I'm actually going to wrap it up, because all of these questions, like the discovery process, I'll bring it back to this because it's called the discovery process for a reason. I really had a hard time wrapping my brain around how the heck I would be leveraging something without talking about it. I really did. It was a whole new concept for me. So in that discovery process is where you get to actually hash out your vision, hash out your why. And when you get on that call, talk to them about all of your concerns, talk to them about all of your fears, talk to them about what it is that you actually really want to do, not trying to think about how it's going to tie in, but ask them, how would that look? What, like, based on the answers to the questions that you will be answering, you're going to be getting on a call with somebody who's been in the business for a really long time and will be able to actually answer all of these questions in a really nice, deep, heart-centered call. That's about 45 minutes. So if you want to go through that process, again, it's a 30-day money-back guarantee. Just reach back out to the person who actually invited you to watch this. And of course, like, whoever invited you to this space, if you've got more questions, if you've got concerns, if you got fears or whatever it is, bring it up to them. Be just very genuine in your heart and your own expression, because we're human. All of us are human, and we all had the same thing coming in and seeing something new. It's something, if we don't quite understand it, we need to just dive deeper. And if you're a skeptic, I think skeptics get a bad rap, because all skeptical people need is just more information, right? They're people who are ultimately the people who are going to be hitting the ground running actually really fast in something that they really say yes to. Because if they say yes, it's a full body yes. And I promise you do not have to ever say yes to anything here unless it is a full body yes. And that's what that discovery process is for.
Yeah.
So
perfect.
That is all we've got for you today. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. And boom, ready to dive in to learn more. As we said, click the link below or ask the person who invited you. And we thank you for your time. So appreciate you. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your evening and exploring this space.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for investing your time in yourself and exploring this possibility, because anything is possible. We're living proof of it. Yes. Hope to see you on the inside.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Let's see. How do I go end? Bye, everybody.